Hello, hello. Welcome to Body by Julianne. Hi. It's been a while. I know. It's been crazy busy. I've been wanting to record and put this video up for a bit, but life just got pretty crazy, juggling a bunch of stuff and figuring out how do I juggle and have time to do all these different things and also have a social life. I'm still working on that, honestly, but we're in a good place now. I had to take a couple days off because that booster, man, y'all. That thing's rough. Today we are going to be talking about dieting. Is it good? Is it bad? My thoughts on dieting. Because we're talking about dieting, if you do have an eating disorder or anything like that, feel free to skip around this video. I will leave sort of time cards at places that I think you might feel more comfortable skipping around to. But this is pretty much going to be a video that's very much an open dialogue about how I feel about the subject. I want this to just be a conversation about dieting and how I view it, how you guys might view it, or what you feel about it, just to really just talk about this in a more natural way. Welcome to Body by Julianne. If this is your first time here, I'm so happy to have you. Join the family, subscribe, like, comment, do all of those things. And if you are a returning watcher, welcome back. I appreciate your loyalty. So kind, so kind. But yeah, let's get into it. I think the word diet and dieting holds a negative tone. And I think a lot of that is just how it's been portrayed in the media, especially when it comes to like TV and movies. You'll notice whenever like you'll watch, it's usually a drama when you're watching like that sort of like drama show and someone's like, I'm going on a diet. And everyone's like, no, not a diet. And then it becomes really like, they like take it to the extreme and then they're not eating and it becomes this very harmful thing, which is when diets can be harmful. But a diet within itself, I think, honestly, it doesn't have to be harmful. The way a lot of diets are is just someone saying that, this is what I eat, and that's fine. I think if you have a way of doing it in a healthy manner, then it's totally fine and it's totally healthy and sometimes can be beneficial and something that someone needs. I think when diets are thought of as more of like lifestyle choices, like I choose to be vegetarian, I choose to not eat that, I choose to be a pescatarian, which is what I am, or just limiting maybe certain things that might not be right for you. I think that that's definitely a great thing to do. My personal diet, I'm a pescatarian, but I take things pretty loosely with it. I'm a pescatarian. I love my seafood so much, but I do on occasion eat turkey and chicken. And, I don't like to put myself down every time I eat turkey and chicken, be like, you ate turkey and chicken, you're a pescatarian, you fail. Because I think that's what happens to a lot of things. We also sometimes will promote this thing on social media where you might see an influencer or someone on social media who says that they are maybe vegetarian and someone sees them with something that's, with like some sort of meat and they will attack that person. But there are some people that like have things in a more loose way where maybe they're a vegetarian but they eat this on occasion. We need to sort of normalize being kinder to people online when it comes to the things that they're eating. If someone eats something that maybe they say they don't all the time, it shouldn't be something where they're being like demonized for it or being like, I'm attacking you because you did that. It shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. For me, I really eat and drink the way that I do, like for health reasons. I was pre-diabetic my senior year of college, and I want to say that was 2018, 2019, around that time. And I worked really hard to get myself out of that place and did. But what really worked for me was, putting a diet in place, saying, okay, I'm not going to eat these things. I'm going to eat more of these things. And it helped me kind of turn my life around. A lot of people need that, especially for someone who suffers from things like maybe diabetes, or if you have like high blood pressure, if you like, there are certain things medically going on with you that makes so that you have to eat a certain way and diet a certain way. That's health. It's important to make it so that people who have those things going on with them feel like they're able to talk about it without being harmful to someone else. Because a lot of the times we live in a day and age now where no one wants to offend anyone. They just don't. Like everyone wants to just be like, I'm going to be polite to you and polite to you and not offend you, not offend you. So I'll just keep my mouth shut. And I think in a lot of ways that can be, good for like, if someone is thinking something that might be ignorant or might be disrespectful or might be just really harmful to someone else. But if it's something like okay, I'm gonna maybe like not eat this thing today because it's not good for me. Let someone, say that. People shouldn't feel like they're being attacked for eating a way that they need to eat for their health. People think with diets and they associate it with sort of perfection. You have to stick to your diet. You have to do this thing. If you fall off once, it's over. And I think that we got to just like let go of perfect. It's just, I don't like that to live in my vocabulary because I think it's truly impossible to be perfect. It's just, it's not, you're going to have days where you're just a little bit off, and that's okay, and that should be normalized. And when you stick to that idea that things have to be perfect, you have to be 100% on all the time, that can drive a person crazy. And it also can make it so that someone mentally turns into something that, isn't right for them. It can really fuck up someone's mental, and we don't need that. My diet and how I eat, I sometimes go by the 80-20 rule, and if you're like, what does that mean? That basically means 80% of the time I'm eating nutrient-dense foods, making sure that I am, keeping it healthy, feeling good about the stuff that I'm eating, all of my, fruits and vegetables, my protein, all that I need to be eating right, good portions, I'm having that. 20% of the time, I am, having fun. And it's not like I'm like, okay, 20% of the time I'm going to eat like total trash, da, 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 because I have come accustomed to a certain kind of eating that there are, with me just eating a little bit healthier, there are certain things that when I try to eat them, I just can't because it just doesn't feel good. And it just doesn't feel good because I just eat a certain way most of the time. And I think that's nice. I like that my body has come to a place where it's like, you can't eat that. Stop. But 20% of the time, I do, just let it go a little bit more. If I want to have a little bit more of something that might not be like the healthiest, I let myself do that. And I don't feel bad about it because perfection is not real. It's not. And I don't want to be perfect. I just want to be me. So I go by the 80-20 rule. It's helpful for me. And I don't really think about it in my head a lot of the times. I won't be like, okay, have you done your 80? Okay, you have. You can now do your 20. I don't really think about it that way. I think about it like, yeah, I'm eating healthy most of the time. And if I have a day where I'm like, I just don't feel like, being the best, I just let myself be that way. And I don't like count it. I don't try to calculate it because that can also be a little bit hard. I know and now we're getting into like counting your calories and all of that stuff. I used to, I will say, when I first was getting into, when I first was diagnosed as pre-diabetic and I wanted to change things, I did start to count calories because I wanted to, and it wasn't really for like reason of I need to just like portion and just I'm gonna have that morsel and then stop it once it gets there. No, it was so that I could understand what things looked like, so that I knew, okay, so this much calories is this much food. I wanted to know what that looked like so that I could build it in my mind and then one day just push away the actual calorie counting and know exactly like, okay, this is what 300 calories of that looks like. This is what 400 calories of that looks like. So that when I like make meals, I can kind of be like, okay, I'll stop here and I'll stop there. I'll add that. It just makes it so that I can just help myself be a little bit more accountable and not go over, because a lot of the times it's very easy to go over and to go under. You want to make sure you're eating enough. I would sometimes get to that place where I realized I actually wasn't eating enough. I was eating so little because I was like, well, I want to not be pre-diabetic. Let's just not, eat. And that's not healthy. Don't do that. Make sure that you're always eating enough food and eating the right food. That's important. For some people, calorie counting is really helpful for them. It can be that thing where it makes it that they're able to be accountable. And I don't think that people should be faulted for that. If it's helpful, it's helpful. But for some people, it's not. And calorie counting can be very detrimental and very mentally, tough on a lot of people. And I understand that. For those people where it is tough on them, I think that they should feel free to not do that and find a way that's healthy for them and however they want to eat and however they want to go about their dieting. When it really comes down to it, honestly, diets are something that provide structure for a lot of people that don't have structure when it comes to eating. There are a lot of things when it comes to just like meals and meal prepping that can be incredibly hard. And even for myself, I find a lot of the times when I'm like going grocery shopping and I'm making my list, sometimes making my list can be very hard because I get overwhelmed by how many things are actually out there to eat. And so formulating my list, I'm just like on my phone. So sometimes like having, a diet can help provide structure so that you can make a list when you go to the grocery store and shopping for food that is just a little bit more clear. A lot of times people go into the grocery store and they just, pick up things through like maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. And having a list, having a structure, having like a diet so you can just build a more cohesive grocery list and a more cohesive sort of like week for you and what you're going to eat can be really, really helpful. And something else that I think diets are really nice and what I like about them, they kind of have given me room to experiment. With me saying that I'm only going to eat certain things, I'm going to be a pescatarian that eats turkey and chicken on occasion. It makes me experiment with what lives inside the range of things that I like to eat. Being a pescatarian lets me still eat so many different things, and I was like, okay, let's look up all these different types of fish. I was able to discover so many different kinds of fish that I didn't even know existed. I kept my sort of pescatarian seafood like range very kind of like close knit. I'm from Maryland, if y'all didn't know. And we love crabs. And so growing up, I would eat a lot of shrimp, crabs, lobster. I kind of kept it a lot in the shellfish. Oh, and salmon. And so that's a lot of what I ate. And when I was like, I'm going to be a pescatarian, I said, let's really explore all the different things that live in this world. And I was able to discover a lot of different like food that I really like. There are a lot of different like types of salmon that I actually delved into. A lot of different kinds of fish that I like. I love cod. There's a nice like lightness to it that I love. And I was just able to see a lot of things. And I'm like, wow, I can add this to what I eat and it's really nice. Same with like the vegetables that I eat. I was able to kind of like look at different vegetables and fall in love with more things that I wasn't really into eating before and then experiment with how I can make them. It got to be really fun. So in a way, that can make diets really fun because it kind of like, it'll put you in a box, but then open things up within that box that you might have not even knew were there. Knew were there. So in that way, I think it can be really, really fun. But then again, diets aren't for everyone. They're not. I'm not going to say diets are amazing. Everyone should have a diet. But then again, I think that if we think about like, a diet as just, your lifestyle, it's what you eat. It doesn't have to be restricting. And I think that can get in a lot of people's head. They think about, oh, well, what am I not eating? I feel like not being able to have that, it sucks. And for some people, it can. For some people, they want to be able to eat everything. They want the world to be their oyster. And for that, I say, go off. Go ahead. If that's how you want to eat that way. Let it be, healthy, of course. And I think that we also sometimes have gotten into the place of, because we want to be so open and accepting, we'll say, yeah, you eat whatever you want, even if it's like that really, really unhealthy thing. You go ahead and you eat that all the time. And that I'm never going to promote. I think that it's important for people to be able to eat what they want for sure. But I also think that health is important, that we should be getting in that nutrient-dense food for our health. Because, you want your body to be feeling good. And we are truly what we eat. And if you're someone who likes to work out, if you're not putting good food in your body, like I've had days where I've eaten terribly and then tried to work out, and the workout feels terrible. It's so much harder to get through because you're just not filling your body with the food that's going to push you through that workout and make you feel good. So I really do promote, eating well so that when you do things outside, maybe you want to work out outside, if you aren't eating well, the crash you might experience, not fun. I don't think there's much left to say on dieting. I just want it to be pretty much an open conversation, just me talking about how I personally feel about diets. And I honestly do think that they can be nice and great. And maybe if we just take out the stigma of the word diet, I think that we can really just see it as something that can be very helpful for a lot of people. And it doesn't have to be restricting, it doesn't have to be limiting, and we really need to kind of like take away, media when it comes to social media, when it comes to like TV and movies. And I find that it's mainly like TV and movies from like the early 2000s and the 90s. When I go back and watch like old movies, I say old, they're not old, but they're, they're a little bit of a throwback. When I go back and watch them, there are some that I see where they just promote really bad habits of just like, oh, yesterday I had a cracker. It was great. And I'm like, wait, why was this, huh? But I see a lot of that kind of in older stuff. I think we've gotten a little bit better now, but sometimes in like TV and movies, you don't always see the best stuff when it comes to how they promote people to eat. But I think that it's important that we just, kind of push that aside and don't let ourselves be influenced by that. Let yourself be influenced by how your body's feeling, what you like, and not what other people like. It's about you. It's your body. It's what you put into your body. So why should someone else influence that? And don't let me influence you. I'm just saying what I feel. Just find what feels good and authentic and nice and happy and healthy for you. And I think that that's what a diet should be. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. Thank you for bearing with me for the time that I've been away. I'm really happy to be able to come back to this, and I'm gonna really try to be nice and consistent. But thank you for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the Julianne Marie on Instagram and TikTok. And if you would like to train with me, you can go to my website. The link is in the description. Also, if you're interested in a Zozo suit, the link for that is also in my description, as well as link for Troop, some beautiful, delicious mushroom gummies you should definitely get your hands on. As always, I hope everyone has a great, wonderful, happy, nice day. Go get some sun, and I'll see you next time.